Is it recording?
Yes.
Oh, for sure. How we doing?
All right. Episode 2.
City Sportscasts.
City Sportscasts. Progression better than the first.
Hopefully.
Moving forward. All right. So we're going to recap Bruins, Game 3.
And 4.
And then we're also going to go over the Warriors-Raptors game.
Game 2 and then preview for Game 3, which is tomorrow night.
Wednesday.
In Oakland.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we'll just hop into Game 2 of Toronto Golden State in the finals.
Yeah.
Toronto had a pretty good first half. I'm pretty sure they were up 8 at half. 7,
Something
8,
like
something like that. Not enough to slow down Golden State's third quarters.
Yeah.
That's where they excel.
Probably the biggest thing in playing the Warriors after watching them in the finals for so many years and just throughout the regular season, playoff situations. Everybody knows you have to stop the Warriors in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's their make or break. Like I said last time, they beat you a lot on the offensive boards and fast breaks and all that. But that third quarter is crucial for them, and I don't know why they flipped that switch after halftime.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they went on an 18-0 run to start the third.
Yeah.
Toronto didn't score. How many points did they score in the third?
I think it was for like a 5-minute period. They didn't score in the third.
They didn't score until there was 5:46 left in the third.
Yeah. There was so they only scored 21 points in the third quarter versus
and the Warriors scored
34.
There you go.
So, I mean, when you have a 5-minute lapse against the Warriors, that's pretty much...
And allow them to score 18 on that lapse?
Yeah, exactly. You can't have lapses like that. A, in an NBA Finals situation.
B, if you're playing Golden State.
And B, if you're playing Golden State. Because they are going to destroy you and pretty much eat you alive if you give up points like that.
Yeah, we know a few people that were saying Toronto had a chance after Game 1, and then it was huge that Golden State lost. Yeah. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I said that on here. They were in Toronto.
Yeah. Still missing KD.
Siakam had everything go his way that game. Kawhi, everyone played well.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, that's what you need to do to beat the Warriors. Is that you cannot have an off night. Everybody needs to play.
And you especially can't go 6-7 minutes without scoring a bucket ever.
Yeah,
you need to constantly, regardless of if it's a quick 2. And I didn't watch the game, so I didn't really see the complete breakdown and how they fell apart. I didn't know if they were just not getting good looks or what it was.
For the Raptors?
Yeah.
It was more so Warriors were stepping up and rotating, and the Raptors weren't passing the ball like they should have been. There was a lot of 4 shots, I feel like, but I mean at the same time both teams took 20+ free throws for the game.
Yeah.
So I mean they were all shooting from the free throw line. A lot of people were saying that the Raptors kind of had some baby calls, some stuff go their way, which, I mean...
I heard early in the game it was called very poorly.
Yeah. I mean, but when you have both teams shooting a pretty similar amount, I think the Raptors shot 26 free throws and the Warriors shot 23.
Kawhi himself had 16.
16 for 16.
So without that, he had 18 points.
Yeah, something like that.
He shot 40%. Siakam... threw up 18 shots.
Yeah.
Siakam and Van Fleet threw up a combined 35 shots, and Danny Green and Marcus Gasol, who are starters, threw up 14 total shots.
I mean, and you're looking at...
Marcus Gasol shouldn't be only getting 7 shots a game. He's a big guy, and he can get those buckets.
Yeah, for sure. We were talking last episode that the Raptors are going to need to have key guys step up if they want to have any chance of winning.
They need at least
those are the
one.
guys are Siakam, and then everybody was talking about Van Fleet kind of making his appearance and presence known in the NBA Finals, which he did last game. In this game, he had 17 points, 7 for 17 from the field, and 2 for 8 on threes. And
so
he
that's
played
just him throwing up
shots.
Yeah, that's
and he played 38 minutes coming off of the bench.
Wow. How many minutes did Siakam had 27%?
Yeah, and he had 41 minutes. So, I mean, when you have guys that are playing such a substantial amount of minutes, I mean,
shooting the ball
Van Fleet played more minutes than Kawhi Leonard that game, or close to it. Kawhi Leonard had 34 points. Let me see how many minutes he had. He had 39 minutes versus
so he played
Van Fleet's 38.
Minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that's crazy.
To be fair, Golden State had a lot go well that game. Iggy hit that insane shot at the end of the game right after Steph almost turned it over.
Yeah.
I say it all the time, bigger the moment, smaller the Steph Curry. It's really the only thing he has as a kryptonite.
He hasn't really done anything substantial so far in this final series in the last 2 games.
Nothing.
Yet he hasn't shown out or shown why the Warriors can
He
really
almost
win
turned the
without
ball
KD.
over with
Yeah.
them up 2 with
No, I know.
17 seconds left
Yeah, it
in
was
the
Sean
game.
Livingston that made that pass, I'm pretty sure, to Iggy.
No. Oh, yeah, and it was a beautiful pass. But
And even going into the playoffs, I heard Colin Cowherd was talking about Andre Iguodala being one of the best standalone three-point shooters in the league, which is a weird stat when you're talking about having a defender within 5 feet away from you.
Mhm.
But I mean, those shots matter.
But it's
I think
important.
he hit like three
he
shots.
hit one
from three.
early in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
That was in
were
that, pretty
wide
much in
open
that same
because
spot on the other side.
Yeah, the Raptors were leaving him open. They weren't rotating on him.
Mhm.
They were focused on DeMarcus Cousins and covering Clay and Steph for the most part.
Boogie played an amazing game. I said it after game 1, and he didn't really play that well in game 1. He just had a few nice looks.
He
and
started this game too.
1 or 2 buckets. He had
big.
17 points, 10 assists, and 9. A triple-double.
Yeah.
First game officially back.
As a starter,
So
yeah.
you filled in Draymond Green's slot, and then what Draymond do?
Draymond actually had a decent night. He had 17 points.
10 and 8.
Yeah, 10 and 8. Or no, 10 and 9.
There you go. So pretty much the same. When you have 2 guys doing that, not just like it's said all the time.
Yeah.
KD might be the best player on that team, but Steph's the most important to the system.
Yeah.
Iggy and Draymond are just as important to that system.
I was actually going to talk about the same thing when I was going over my notes.
Mm-hmm.
DeMarcus Cousins and Draymond Green, as much as I hate Draymond Green as a player, but
are so important to that
those
system.
2 together are such insane facilitators from like as surprising as that is when you're playing a good team like the Raptors who are pretty sound defensively, and you have big guys that can also defend like Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol that are both covering the entire paint area. They were hitting guys on the wings, and those guys on the wings were hitting their shots.
Yep.
They did what the Raptors should have done, which is play inside out, focus on the key, kick out to the wings, and hit your shots. And they were not hitting their shots.
Yeah, you watched in the first quarter, Clay scored 9 of the first,
Yeah.
or 8 of the first 9 points for the Warriors.
Yeah.
So that's just him, and Clay's just a catch and shoot guy. So that's just
Yeah.
like if Boogie and Dre can play at that same level, even without a KD return, and so you got no KD for Game 3. We can kind of transition into Game 3.
Clay's doubtful.
Clay's doubtful. No Kevin Looney.
Kevin Looney's out. Which,
and Kevin Looney broke his collarbone,
Yeah,
so
he's
you
gonna be
won't
out for
see
the
him
series.
again.
Yeah.
So Andrew Bogut's going to have to step up. Oracle is going to be
crazy
buzzing
Yeah.
for Game 3.
That's going to be crazy.
Regardless if Clay plays or not, even if Curry's the only guy out there, Oracle's going to be bonkers.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the only team to beat Golden State at Oracle in the finals, I think the only losses they have in the finals at home is Game 5 and 6, the year LeBron came back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy. Honestly, the Warriors
At Oracle are almost
they're
perfect.
insanely hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And with Clay out, if Clay doesn't play that game, that is a must win for the Raptors.
I wrote that. Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. If Toronto wants any hope
chance,
in the series, this is the game.
For sure.
You steal Game 3 at Oracle. You now took home court back because I didn't even know entering the finals that Toronto had home court until I realized Game 1 was at Toronto. You need, if you want any hope of the series, you don't have Clay, you don't have Looney. KD, if Clay's injury is as bad as it looked, and it didn't look pretty, especially in the locker room after,
you probably miss him.
You
for
will
at least 2 to 3
100%
games.
see KD Game 4.
Oh yeah.
Even if he's at 50%.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford to not have them.
They can't
be at
afford down to
both
go
games at Oracle.
3-1. Yeah.
Yeah. If they lose this game, expect KD and even Clay to come back not at 100%, but just enough.
Yeah.
Because they need KD out there, even if he's not balling to the full potential, as at least an intimidation factor that Toronto can be like, oh, fuck, this dude can turn on when he wants, whenever he wants.
They have to keep the rotations. That's like a lot of the Warriors style of offenses. They are going to make the extra pass pretty much every single time. It's like the old Spurs they are going to make the extra pass.
Yeah.
And even when you think they are not going to, they're going to find a way to get across the court, make the extra pass, and get an open shot. And because you have so many guys you're rotating on, it's impossible to guard, especially if they're going to hit their shots.
Yeah. And especially if you get that starting five at any point in the series of Curry, Clay, KD, Boogie, and then you switch out that Dre, anyone. And Toronto has no chance against that. Kyle Lowry isn't going to do anything in this series against it. Like, Steph might not be showing up, but it doesn't matter because Kyle Lowry is doing so bad that it's still like, Steph's numbers look great next to Kyle Lowry's in the first two games.
Steph is playing at 50%
like you said, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, you're going to need to see a Steph Curry
but with Steph, it's a mental game, I feel
last playoffs, probably.
I feel like he just, like, gets, like, almost shook in a sense that he doesn't think he can. Like, if they had turned over so it's Sunday. If they had turned over that ball, if he had turned over that ball with 17 seconds left in the game, they're fast breaking down that court because that's what the setup was. It was a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
And they're tying the game.
Yeah. So Finals MVP.
Steph is going to have to show up if he wants it. I could see Clay, Boogie, or KD if he returns. I could see Draymond taking it over. Steph is just not showing up, and I don't get it.
Everybody expects a lot more from him, so anything less than him being great is a disappointment.
He's not exerting any energy on the defensive end. Kyle Lowry has 20 points in the series.
Yeah. You have to be putting
so
more
you're
numbers
doing
up
nothing on the defensive end. Where's that energy on? Like, I don't know. Obviously I'm not an NBA player, so I don't know, but I just feel like he's not.
I know Kyle Lowry was upset that he was taken out of the game so many times.
Well, he got 3 fouls in the first 7 minutes.
For sure. He was upset about it. So when they took him out in the second quarter to sit the rest of the second, he was pretty pissed about it. But I don't see why. Oh, yeah, not to mention, Steph Curry didn't hit his first shot until there was 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
That's insane.
If you want to be the Finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard hit the first shot of the game for the Raptors. You need to be coming out and scoring from the get-go.
Clay is what got it starting for Golden State.
Yeah. Clay right now is keeping them in it because he's hitting the shots he needs to hit.
But now he's hurt.
Yeah. So
LeBron, I don't want to talk about LeBron a lot on this because I don't he's done. It's the off season.
Right now,
It's the off season. There's no reason to talk about a player not currently playing.
Yeah.
But he's probably so pissed right now seeing KD be injured. Clay just went down. You have a 50% Boogie Cousins. Steph's not showing up.
Yeah, you hardly had any injuries in any of the times that they faced each other.
You lost. Yeah, the Cavs experienced more injuries than Golden State ever did.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a non-healthy Steph last year.
Yeah, I think Steph in every series they played and in combined total, he probably missed at most 2 games, I think.
I don't think he missed any games.
Yeah.
But I think he was at 75% throughout the series. But the last 2, minus LeBron making that insane comeback, the last 2 has been KD.
Yeah.
Those Game 3 shots in both games have been.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
KD's going to be
player in the world.
KD is going to be the guy to come out and just be like, all right, let's get this over with. I'm tired. The season should be over by now. Let's get this done.
Let's wrap it up.
He's like, all right, give me 2 games.
Game 4.
I'll put us ahead, and let's just go ahead and take it.
Game 4. But if Toronto wants any hope, Game 3 is the game for you.
So be exciting. Be a great matchup. Yeah. Make your shots.
Keys to winning by Zach Garza. Win.
Put the ball in the hoop. That's how you win the game.
Shoot the ball a million times. It'll eventually fall in.
Yeah.
Steph Curry's motto.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So on to the Bruins and Blues game 3 and 4.
Game 3 was an absolute slaughterfest by Boston. 7-2 final score. None of those were empty netters.
So the Blues got curb stomped at home. Game 3.
Bad.
Yeah. And what's crazy was I was looking at the highlights for Game 4 for the analysis today because I didn't watch Game 3. I think we were both working that day.
I watched Game 3 at home. I did not watch the game yesterday because I was out, so I just watched the highlights and just kind of filled myself in.
Game 3, Bruins scored 7 goals. I'm not sure how many were garbage time empty nets, but they scored
0.
7 goals on 24 shots.
Yes. They scored 5 on Bennington before they pulled him. Jordan Bennington is younger than both of us.
Yeah.
So,
I don't blame him. You're going to have a rough game.
Yeah, when you're 21 years old playing.
That's crazy.
Now, the Bruins team's very young, too. I actually didn't know. The Bruins
it's a lot different being a young goalkeeper versus being a young player.
You're right. So, but I didn't even know the Bruins actually have 9 guys who play on that U.S. North American team, which I think is 28 and younger or 27 and younger.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of young guys, but regardless, he's 21 years old. He's playing in the Stanley Cup in his rookie season,
and he's been probably one of the best goalkeepers.
Lights out.
Yeah, he's been one of the best goalkeepers in the playoffs.
So he's gonna have an off game, and he's gonna end. When he got pulled late in the second when it was 5-0. Because it was 5-0 before St. Louis scored a goal.
Yeah.
There was about 6 minutes left in the game, and he walked right off the ice.
Yeah.
And I heard the announcers kind of say a few things like, at least sit with your team, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I get it, but I would probably say the same. At least stick, like, you're playing a team sport, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
You're allowed to show emotion in sport, but at the end of the day, that team's supposed to be your brothers. They're supposed to be your family. You guys have seen each other through the ups and downs, the worst. Sit with your team, finish out those 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Get those emotions out in the locker room.
Yeah, it's in game, if that's a big decision to go and just leave the bench, go in the locker room. Granted, as a goalkeeper, you're getting pulled. Yeah, I mean, you know you're not going back in the game. You know you're done for the night. I mean, he's probably really frustrated with himself, with his team, on defense, but when you're letting in 7 goals on 24 shots, you know it's mostly your fault.
Well, the Bruins, in that game on the power play, were 4 of 4 on 4 shots.
Well, there you go. I didn't look at any of the stats really.
4 of 4 on 4 shots on the power play. If you're the Blues, do not.
The Bruins were the best power play team going into the finals, I'm pretty sure.
They were the best power, I think, going into the playoffs initially, and then the finals only got better.
Yeah.
But, again, the Blues, I feel like, are playing, and especially in that game and in Game 1 was very similar. They're playing very emotional at times, and they're letting, like, the Bruins have Brad Marchand. We have guys that are going to get in your head, and they're going to annoy you.
But guys that have also, been around and been there in the position before.
That can poke you and get you upset, and then they're going to capitalize on top of it. So don't put yourself in a position to let them score 4 power play goals.
For sure. I mean, so going away from Game 3, because we also talked about this, is you don't want to get burned out in goal scoring. So you're going to have a blowout night, but then you can come back the next game and not really do anything crazy. The puck's not going in the net. You're off your game. You're off from the fundamentals because you're so focused on the way you guys were scoring the last game.
But I admit the Bruins looked lackluster in Game 4, but they only had 24 shots in Game 3, so I don't think it was necessarily a burnout. But Game 4, very similar to Game 2 that they dropped, they lost. Char's jaw is broken. So if you see him again in the series, hats off to that man.
Yeah.
That man's doing incredible. As a Bruins fan, I'm very flustered with him from time to time.
Yeah.
But he does the things he needs to do when it matters most of the time.
And that's why he's captain.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Again, as a Bruins fan, I think Patrice Bergeron should definitely hold that because he's showing up in every outing, in every playoff game.
Yeah.
The deciding goal came with 10 minutes left in the third, and like I said, I didn't watch the game yesterday.
Yeah, it was Ryan O'Reilly.
It was just plain poor defense and poor goalkeeping on Tuukka.
Yeah.
It was just a rebounded puck that went in. The Bruins had 23 shots, just like Game 2, but 1 less than Game 3. We had 4 total shots in the third period. So you can't let a team go up with 10 minutes left and only have 4 shots in the period and come back. So series is going back to Boston. I think Bruins will definitely capitalize on Game 5 with Chara or not because, again, similar to Game 2, when you lose a defenseman in hockey, it's not like
the next man's got to step up.
It's not like other sports, basketball, where they have these reserve players that play 0 minutes in case something like that happens. Hockey, you have every man that plays on your bench, and if someone goes down, you play shorthanded.
Yeah.
So you're rotating off 5 defenders instead of 4. And I don't even know if do you know if the guy that got hurt in Game 2 is even back?
No.
Can we look that up?
Yeah.
Do we know I don't even know what his name was. I forget. Because I'm curious if we're missing 2 of those, then we're down 2 defenders.
So it's all on Zdeno Chara.
But regardless, I expect the Bruins to come out with a good Game 5. Whether this series is going to go 7 or 6, I don't know. I feel like Boston still has the advantage in the series. Bennington's age is definitely going to get the best of him. He's young. He's emotional. Tuukka's been in the league for a long time. Tuukka can show up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Matt Grizzly. That's who it was.
Matt Grizzly.
What I was going to say from watching the game for Game 4, it was pretty poor defensively on both ends. Specifically, nobody was tying up in front of net, and every goal was a rebound goal.
Really?
Yeah, for the most part. You had You had the first breakaway on the Bruins from Charlie Coyle that he scored the first goal for them. He kind of did a little wraparound off of a shot.
Yeah.
And then, Ryan O'Reilly's goal. It was a wraparound rebound goal.
Because they traded goals until the deciding goal.
Yeah.
And the last goal was just empty netters, so I'm not.
Yeah. It was a lot of just pucks in front of net. People, on both teams, everybody was watching the puck, specifically the Bruins. They weren't manning up. They weren't tying up anybody. So you had guys, especially when you have guys like Vladimir Tarasenko, who are veterans, who are really good at the game of hockey. Yeah, they're going to go for that rebound, and they're not going to miss.
No, yeah. So all I'd say to that, if there was lackluster defense on both parts, they've played a lot of hockey in the last 2 months. They have 3 days off before the series comes back on Thursday. So
what I'm seeing with Grizzly is he was concussed.
Gotcha.
And
he will probably not be back.
Yeah, I'm not seeing really any updates.
So I would not be surprised to see Zdeno Chara out there. Maybe not for Game 5, Game 6. The dude's resilient as fuck. He's 100 years old. A broken jaw is just going to be more uncomfortable than anything. It's obviously not going to affect your play, but it's probably just running the risk of catching another puck up there. But the defense is really going to be what wins this series for either team. And it's really coming down to the goalkeeping, because in Game 2, I think it was, when the Blues won, the first period was 0-0, and it was just all great goalkeeping. Bennington and Rask, even though they're very different goalies, very separate in age, Jordan Bennington is insane for a rookie, and if St. Louis can lock him up for a long time, I think they'll have a lot of success.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing pretty much from looking up all the injuries for the Bruins right now is that they could be missing Chara and Grizzly for the next game in Game 5, and they could be running with 7 defenders. So that's where the rotations are going to be coming into play. Yeah, that's pretty big, especially with how fast and the offensive capabilities of the Blues. Going down a defenseman is a big chink in your armor, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals. Granted, being at home, that's going to be a big factor, for the effort levels of the Bruins, energy in the building and having all your fans with you.
We still have great defensemen out there. We still have Nordstrom. Nordstrom's making a really, really big impact in the series. Charlie Coyle is a very good defenseman. Torrey Krug. Yeah. Hopefully those guys can hold it down. If Chara does decide not to play, I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah. So it's going to be great rest of the series. I wouldn't be surprised with the injuries. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it go 7.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see it go 7 for injuries. And
just with the way that in all the games that were close, when Bennington's been on and the Blues have been able to score, I mean, the Bruins are the more dominant team, but the Blues have the capability when they're hot, they can stay in the game for sure, and they're winning games.
The only thing I'm gonna kind of say comparison wise is this Bruins team reminds me a lot of the Knights last year in the sense in the playoffs that and you saw it in this game, they went down 1-0, they scored.
Yeah.
They went down 2-1, they scored. Yeah. I feel like I feel like Vegas had that all last playoffs, even if the other team scored first, they were right down your throat right away, and they tied it up. So you just really don't get momentum, and you don't get your swings, and you don't.
That comes a lot with coaching ability too. That's what I feel like probably one of the biggest things.
Not allowing a team getting, because the difference in hockey between 1 and 2 goals is a lot.
Yeah.
And 2 goals really isn't still that much. 3 goals isn't that much if you have it in you.
Yeah.
But 1 goal is absolutely nothing in hockey. Things get bounced around all the time.
Yeah.
That puck comes at you fast.
Yeah. All right. So this week you have Warriors Game 3 tomorrow night in Oakland.
Game 5 is Thursday.
For the Bruins?
Yeah, so that means Game 4 of Golden State. Toronto is Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Got
a big week of sports. A lot of these games are going to be close with all the injuries and, on all the teams across the NHL and the NBA. It's going to be a lot of drama if there's not already. Well,
yeah, you saw all that drama. We can just touch on it shortly. Post Game 2.
With Drake.
Drake, KD, Clay, Steph.
Everybody. It's mainly just the Warriors.
All I want to say to that, well, it's both sides because I get the dislike for what Drake is doing, and Steph said it last playoffs. Drake chirped a lot in Game 1. He said it when he's talking about Chris Paul. If I do something to you, or if you do something to me, I'm cool with it, but just be sure I can do it right back to you, because if not, that's where... So, Drake chirped a lot in Game 1, especially for not even being a player.
Yeah.
Game 2, Golden State, though, you won by 5 points. Iggy hit the biggest shot.
Yeah.
Curry and KD, absolutely unnecessary. KD hasn't played a minute in the series. Steph Curry had a very poor game. Clay wants to talk all the shit he wants to talk.
That's cool. Yeah,
whatever, you shot 58%, you had 25 points. Do your thing. When you hoop, but KD...
You got to back it up.
KD, you haven't played a minute in the series.
Yeah.
If you want to drop 3 40-point games and then come at them, sure, but until you play a minute in the series, just quiet down.
Yeah. Focus on recovering.
Just
stay out of the drama, honestly.
Yeah.
So, it's just heating up the series, so we can expect to see some solid games.
Yeah, and I get the emotion.
All the players.
I get the emotion on both sides, especially Drake. It's Toronto's first final. He owns the game. He watched that team get absolutely smacked around the last few years. They've been almost the laughingstock of the NBA without being rude. Plus, the likeliness of them signing Kawhi to at least a small deal like you touched on last time is really starting to become
reality.
Probable.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I read something online today. Kawhi purchased property in Toronto. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
It could mean nothing. But you're going to see, I think even if they go 5-6 Golden State and they lose, Kawhi at least sign a 2-3 year.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy too if I was Drake, but you just got to understand that
there's a priority.
Sometimes it's just coming off both sides looking dumb. So just realize we're all adults here and we can all figure it out. But I get it. I'll be interested to see if we see Clay in Game 3.
Yeah.
Very.
So, all right, well, we'll be back with another episode, hopefully within the next couple
few days.
Yeah.
Definitely touching on the
series updates.
Games.
Yeah, for sure. Also, probably, I don't know, maybe some more baseball talk. There's a lot going on in baseball right now. So, a lot of good stuff, good content in the sports world.
Any new free agent news? Of course.
Yeah.
A little free agent thing before we sign off. I saw AD today decide as 3 teams are both LA and Lakers and Clippers, and I think the Knicks were his 3 preferred teams. So the Pelicans are actually starting to hear offers. I still don't think you'll see him go to LA or the Lakers because I don't think they want to see that happen, but we'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get another update within the next couple of days, so we'll keep you guys posted. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on SoundCloud. Also, Sin City Sportscasts, Instagram, Sin City Sportscasts.
Yeah, post coming soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.